Hey everyone, welcome back to Contractor Growth Network. Today is all about how do you actually drive people to an event that you're having. So if you're a landscaper and you're doing like a parade of homes, or if you're a remodeler and you're trying to run a seminar, or you just rebuilt someone's kitchen, we're going to talk about why you should be doing stuff like this and how to actually do it. So I sit down with Alex and we chat all about it. Here we go. Hey everyone, this is Logan Shinholster with Contractor Growth Network with Alex.
Hey, what's going on?
I messed that one up a little bit. Yeah. Cool, man. So today's all about, before we jump in, actually, we're going to do a quick couple tips. And here's what we're doing is when we have our Wednesday meeting, we have a couple meetings throughout the week at Full Sail, but we always have like hey, what's going on in the world of marketing? So we always inform each other because we're huge on education, and you have to come to the meeting with, hey, this is what's new in this section of the marketing world. Because everybody's like has a different section that they focus on, like your video and media. Melissa's more copywriting and sales writing. Laura does Facebook ads and YouTube ads, stuff like that. So everybody's got to come with some sort of updated info, if you will. So we're going to always start to lead off with just, we figure we know this stuff internally, but why not kind of share it out there? So today we're going to just do quick 3 tips of what's going on in the marketing world. Cool?
Yeah, cool with me.
All right. So tip number 1 is just going to be all about what makes articles and blogs show up in Google. And what they've always had is they had this model called the EAT, which is expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. And what that means is the way that Google determines if your blog or post is noteworthy enough to show is, 1, are you an expert? Meaning, is this something related? Like if you're writing a blog all about how to repair drywall, is this a random person writing it, or is the author of it actually a contractor, right? They're not going to show WebMD articles from some random person that just Googled somebody else's information. So they want to know, first off, are you an expert? The next thing is authority, meaning are you an authority in this space? Which what they want is they want other experts to reference you. So if you are writing all about how to fix drywall, they want to know if other GCs or handymen are actually referencing your work and linking back to it. So that's how you show authority. And the last thing is trustworthiness. They want to know if you're a good brand. Just because you're a really good drywall repairman and other people say that you are, if you have a bunch of 1-star reviews, they don't want to show that. So those are the big 3: expertise, authority, and trust. Alex, what was your YouTube one about the verification?
So speaking of trust, YouTube is pretty heavy on user trust. So creators, they really want to incentivize creators and people to be authentic, which is one of their key metrics. So verification, they're changing the whole way they verify accounts to let users know this is trustworthy information. I think it's part of the fake news model as well, where they're trying to get more brands to be responsible if they don't agree with their values. But anyway, so part 1 was released this month. Part 2 is next month. Part 1 is they're completely shutting off accounts that are misinterpreted, accounts that are ripping people off, the accounts are just taking videos off another YouTube and posting on their own, getting rid of that, trying to purge all that. And then next month, they're going to get rid of the 100,000 subscribers you need to be verified. And instead, it's going to be accounts that are prominent, have a good search rating, also not just on YouTube, but on other social media sites. So if you're an influencer out there, you have a big brand and you want to start a YouTube channel, you're more likely to get verified quicker, which could also lead to more subscribers because YouTube's growing more and more every day.
Cool. So you'll know more so of like, is this person legit, or are they just,
the whole premise is to make sure that the users watching videos know that the information from your videos is correct.
Cool.
They don't want the knockoff accounts gaining from your account. So they want the information coming from a Contractor Growth Network to be at the top channel for that information.
I got you. Cool. Last but not least is the third tip is going to be, if you really want to know what your value is to your customers, look at your reviews, because what's happening, especially with older demographics, like if my dad, for example, is going to leave a review on a company, he's not a typist. He's not going to leave something super long, so he's going to be very brief with it. So if he really liked somebody's service, like let's say, we've talked about this before, but painter, hey, this company is great, they finished on time, and that's all he's going to say, which really means that in his eyes, the best part of hiring somebody is if they're going to finish on time. So if you really want to know how people are going to value you, or how they do value you, and what you should sell on, check out your reviews, see what your people are saying about you, and you'll start to see trends of what's actually important to people.
Yeah.
Fair enough?
Yeah.
Cool. Let's jump on in. So today we're talking all about events. And the reason what I mean, the reason that we're talking about this is there's certain things, especially with very high price point jobs. Like if you're going to renovate your backyard and you're about to spend $150,000, it's tough to just kind of like meet with somebody one time and make it happen. Or if you're going to remodel your kitchen, same deal. And like Alex, for you, like we've talked. I think we might have talked about this before, but like with like getting go get a new car, right? You move down here to Charlotte, you get a new truck, and you want to go get a new car. Would you just buy it off Carvana or?
No, I'm an old school guy. I want to test drive it. I want to know if it's if it's worth my purchase. Also, my whole thing is I like to rent cars if I go somewhere that I'm thinking about buying.
No way.
Or I have a dream of buying.
That's
because
smart.
I used to love Camaros. So when the new Camaro came out, I was like, yeah, we got an opportunity to go to Florida. Let's get that. If it became available. Hate it. Would never buy it now. But I'm glad I rented the car because I would never known.
I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little snippet.
Interesting. So that's the big purchase. So if you're selling a very expensive, $30,000 to $75,000 option or project, that's the same price as a car or a truck. So the way that they're going to buy one thing is, the way that they're going to buy a lot of things. But even if you think about it like with like Apple, the new iPhone comes out. It's not that much different than the iPhone that we have right now. But if you're walking through the mall and you see an Apple store, you're going to stop in and play with one. Yeah. It's no different, but you still like to get your hands on it, feel it, things like that. So that's kind of where why a lot of people do really well at home shows. But sometimes, home shows, like they get expensive, they take a lot of time, and plus you have no idea who's going to show up or not. Yeah. So what we suggest and what we've been doing this summer has been for some of our pond clients, water feature, stuff like that. They host these pond parties. And the whole idea is that everybody, like when you get next to a pond, like you absolutely love it. You're sitting there like at my dad's house when we're talking, and it's nice and the breeze is going and you hear the wind chimes and you hear the sound of the water, and it's like, it's peaceful, man. Yeah. But you got to somehow get people there to experience that. And what better way than to actually host a party? Get people there. Plus what happens is you get the social proof effect of all these, now everybody else is coming in and they also love it. So everybody's oohing and ahhing together. So they really see the value. And it's the same thing as they're practically getting to test drive a pond.
Yeah.
And I know Neil used to do this with whenever he would finish someone's kitchen, he would throw that homeowner a party. And then he would say, would you mind if I invite a couple people as well? So he's throwing them a party and other people are coming to get in and actually experience this brand new kitchen, which that's a bit of a different sell because it's like, can I invite people into your home? But if you have a good relationship, you can make it happen.
Yeah. I know with kitchens, you go into, my house, standard kitchen, outlets had the same 3-prong outlets, whatever. I go into a newly renovated kitchen and the new thing is to have USB ports in the outlets. And when I first saw that, I was like, wow, that's really innovative. And I don't even have a house yet, but it would make me say, when I renovate my kitchen, I want that. And it's the same thing where you wouldn't think that a kitchen would have the same effect a pond would, but those little things I noticed.
It's like a Japanese toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's like you look at it, you see it, it's cool, but until you actually get there and experience it, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've been running those where we've been driving people there. So we're going to talk about today how to do that. Like, how do we actually get people to show up at these events? Because they always start off, and what the easier thing to do is to say, oh, it's just a customer appreciation event. Because that's like we just call past customers, we email past customers, we invite them, and we're done. But in reality, it's, first off, it's great to do that. But also, if you can get new people there, why not?
Yeah.
So what we do to make all this stuff happen is, first off, again, we understand that the value is created after the experience. So our whole goal is all these people that have been sitting, on our email lists, watching us on YouTube, watching us on Facebook, even leads that have, didn't work because we were too expensive, or Premier Ponds or Just Add Water was too expensive. Hey, let's go ahead and get them out here. Because we know, just like when you sat next to that pond, we know how nice it is. And a lot of these people that inherit these ponds, it's like when you buy a house, and when you buy the house, the kitchen is disgusting. So you're stuck with this kitchen, so you're already frustrated with it, and you got to do something about it. That's what's going on with these ponds, is a lot of these people, it's not like they have a blank backyard. They're moving into a home with, in essence, a cesspool in the back, and they have to do something about it. Yeah. Like, and they're already frustrated because it's like moving into a new home and there's a stray cat, and you don't like cats, you're frustrated by the cat, and then you call somebody up to go, hey, look, I got this cat, I got to deal with it. What do I do? And they're like, oh, actually, if you want to make this cat right, it's going to cost thousands of dollars. And you're like, I don't even want the cat, first off, let alone now spending a lot of money. And it's just because these people have never got to experience a pond. They didn't put this pond in, and the one they have at their house sucks. So they're frustrated. So when they call up, like Premier Ponds or Just Add Water or those companies, it's a hard sale because the homeowner is frustrated.
Yeah.
They're mad, and then somebody's saying, oh, it's going to cost you all this extra money on top of the expensive house you just bought.
Yeah.
Because they've never experienced a good pond. So how do you sell someone on that without letting them actually come over and check it out? So all these people that have been in the world, checking them out on Facebook, doing, on the email lists and stuff like that, that's how we drive them in, is we actually take them and say, hey, look, you've been following us for a while. Let's go ahead and let's get you to come on out here and have a fun event and experience it. And I know in both circumstances, we actually ran 3 of these this summer. All 3 times, about 75% of the people that showed up came in directly from Facebook.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
Changing world, yeah.
And the other 25% was past customers and past leads. The other 75% came in from Facebook.
That's wild. It's amazing.
It's it's different. So that's the power of what you can use social media and stuff like that. Is it's not just to generate leads, it's also to generate people to come in and check this thing out.
Yeah.
So you can find those people that are out there and use internet to actually bring them in, and then you have to do the selling when they're there. But when they're already in your space, like, you got home field advantage. Like, people are way more susceptible to saying yes when they're in your space, because it's kind of like sitting, like, that's why, like, sometimes, like, if there's bad news, somebody will say, hey, sit down.
Yeah.
One of those things, because it's like you're higher up. So you get the home field advantage. But the way that we did all this stuff was we, first off, figured out who we want to go for, right? We took our old email lists of all these people that say, yep, this is, either they're a current customer, or they're a past customer, or they're a lead that never worked out, or they're people that have been sitting on our email list for years because they just wanted to get helpful pond tips, but they never hired from us. We took all those email lists and we actually uploaded those into Facebook, which you can do. If you don't know how to do it, go online, figure it out, or we got a program coming out in about a month, or depending on when you're listening to this, that will teach you how to do all that stuff. So you take all that, you upload it into Facebook, and you say, hey, Facebook, I want you to show all these people a certain ad. And the whole goal is to show them an ad and get them to say on Facebook, yeah, we want to come to your event. Yeah, we're showing up. Things like that. So we're now telling Facebook, go specifically for these people and go ahead and get them to say that I'm RSVPing for the event. That's the first thing, Facebook. For the way that we did those ads was the videos that you did. What were they exactly? Like, what was the strategy that we did behind it?
So we had 3 main ponds they were going to go see on the tour.
Yeah, it was a tour. Yeah, it was two ponds on a tour, then a party.
Yes. So what we did was we took each pond and made a video out of it. So I know, your family home was one of the ponds. So there was a lot of extra B-roll we had. So we took it at day, night, all different kind of versions of the water running and of the pond, and like a 30-second, 45-second video, and just put it on Facebook. Another client that we had was unique. They had water urns in their pond, and it was a nice stream flowing, and it fixed a backyard water problem. So we used part of the YouTube video we made for Premier Ponds and put it on that. And then one of Andrew's house, we did we put all these pictures, and he was featured on Greg Woodstock, the pond guy, and predominant in the pond industry, his YouTube channel. So we got that social proof that this guy has 100,000 followers, probably even more, on YouTube, and he came out and was amazed at the pond. So that's what we did. And we maximized on Facebook and just said, hey, this is what your pond could look like. These are the ponds you're going to see. And we kind of modeled it off of like a house where they call it like the Laurel. We called it like the Lowry, the Lingen, the Shinholster, stuff like that. So just a little stuff to show, some ideas going into it, that this is what you're going to expect and this is what your pond could look like, and maybe a mix of all 3.
It's the expectations, or like we're because like the last thing that you want to do is you go, oh yeah, hey everyone, here's this tour, go check it out, and you have like, isn't it? It's a fear to go knock on the wrong house.
Yeah.
So we're literally making sure that when we're promoting this stuff, that you can see on Facebook the front of the person's house.
Yes.
Then you can see the backyard where the pond is, things like that. So we're trying to alleviate any fear of the unknown, any anxiety of what if we go to the wrong spot, or what if we do this, what if we do that. So we're literally trying to almost like take them on the tour before the tour even starts.
Yeah, and plus I know for the Lowrys, I think they were the first stop, if I'm correct. So, that initial, like you said, to go to the wrong house, just to make sure you start the day off on a right note, we made sure that the beautiful driveway job that I think Great American did, if I'm not mistaken, that was showcased as well. So they can get the whole experience of, okay, you're in this driveway, this great, paved stone driveway, and then you get the pond. And it was a beautiful representation of how the pond tour will start.
Yeah, just to alleviate any of that stuff is going to be huge.
Yeah, and especially for people who, like you said, they're already off on a bad note with a pond in their backyard that they didn't want, or people that are still on the fence about it. You just want that extra stress. Am I at the wrong house? What is this? Is this going to be, a riff-raff neighborhood?
Right.
Stuff like that. Just get it out of the way right on the Facebook, RSVP.
Exactly. So we ran ads to people like that, all of our people in our system, but we also said there's also another way that you could do is you could also say, hey, Facebook, people who are similar to these types of people, run ads to them as well. So now we're actually expanding out and saying, in this radius of people, because, it doesn't make sense to, this is like right around the DC area. It doesn't make sense to send it out to people in Boston, but everybody in this radius, go ahead and show it to people similar to this.
Yeah.
So that's where actually the other 75% of people came in. Is because they came in, they RSVP'd for there, and then one of the bigger draws, and at the same time we're also running email marketing stuff. So to say, hey, we're also running this, so these people who are on our email list, whether the current customer, past customer, leads, email subscribers, they're getting seen, or they're getting this found, or getting hit with this, I guess is a better way of saying it, on email and on Facebook. So anywhere that they're looking, they're pretty much seeing our stuff over and over and over.
Yeah, and this was 100%, online marketing. It was nothing direct mail,
Nope.
no cold calling,
Nope.
word of mouth maybe, but this was all, strictly off Facebook and email, which is amazing.
It was great. So one of the bigger incentives that we also did was we also created a raffle. And the idea of a raffle was, hey, we got these raffle tickets, go see the other ponds. The raffles were like a couple like Dick's Sporting Good gift cards, because it was like, well, these, like, if you're going to want a pond, you're probably an outdoors person, get you some outdoor stuff. And then we had fish food was another thing. Then we also had a patio pond, which is like a $300, $400, $500 kit that you can put a nice little waterfall, like a mini one, on your patio that you set up yourself. And the whole idea behind this is, one, it incentivizes some people to come. And you may be thinking, because we thought the same thing and our clients thought the same thing, oh, it's just going to be the riffraff. Oh, just the people that just want free stuff. Even to some of those people, they don't want to spend all this afternoon going through stuff just to have a small chance at winning this one thing.
It was Labor Day weekend too, wasn't it?
I think it was the weekend after.
Oh, okay.
I think it was the weekend after.
Still, give up a weekday for that stuff.
It's not big enough. They're not going to win a car.
No.
Right? So the reason that we did that, though, was because what if it rains? Last year it downpoured. So all those people are not going to show up now. So all this time and effort and energy is now gone. But what we said was, hey, if you give us your email, let's say, because if you're not on our email list, and if this is the other people on Facebook, hey, if you give us your email beforehand, we'll give you an extra raffle ticket. So that way, if it does rain, at least we have your RSVP, your information, so we can market to you later on down the road.
Yeah.
So even if it rains and you don't show up and there's a tornado and nobody shows up, all of our efforts are not for nothing, because we're at least collecting your name and your email, so that way when it comes time to down the road nurturing clients, we've got your information.
Yeah, nice backup plan.
It's a huge contingency plan. And just from that, like, that at least gives you a little bit of peace of mind of like, okay, even if it doesn't work out, even if something happens, at least I've got information from people who are interested in ponds, water features, things like that.
Yeah, that you can always go back to, with another idea, another, Parade of Ponds event, stuff like that.
Exactly. So we did that, and then the actual event itself, they did a pretty good job. They got like a pizza truck to come out. Like if you're going to be selling somebody something expensive, make sure that the event looks expensive.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to say, all right, guys, after we all hit up Cece's Pizza, we're going to go,
Yeah, here's
like,
Big Macs, so it's...
Yeah, like go ahead and pass these out, like, 2 per person. Like you don't want something like that. You want it nice. So they had a nice, somebody like a brick oven, like a mobile brick oven came out, did all the pizzas. They had like nice wines, things like that. So it was a classy event.
Yeah. Yeah, which is, they're paying, like you said, thousands of dollars for this pond. You need to, show that you need to make the effort too, that you're not just trying to take their money. You're going to spend some money to hopefully, gain a lot more in return.
Exactly. And the result of this was, I think they had, for all 3 of them, actually, ironically, all of them had about 80 people show up.
That's great.
The last one I thought was going to be way more. I don't know why, but for some reason they had 80 people show up. But I talked to them afterwards and said, how'd it go? And they're like, well, we had the exact clientele that we wanted, which all 3 times I couldn't, I was like, damn, okay, great. Like, like I was kind of expecting a few, people that were like, oh yeah, we're just here for the free raffle. Not a single one. Every single person was there for the right reason. I think Just Said Water sold work like at the actual event for both of them, and then had really good follow-ups for them. And then I know for Premier Ponds, one of the dudes has been thinking about it, he's building a new house, and he has been kind of talking with them for a few months now, and his budget was X amount, I think it was 30 or something like that. And then at the end of the event, after seeing it and seeing what a $75,000 feature would look like, I think it's a little bit different now is what they're getting at. So it works wonders on that. I know they got because I see the leads that come in, they got more leads coming and saying, hey, I was just at your house the other day, really appreciate the event, let's talk. Yeah. So it produced a good amount of work, and on the flip side, it just is a piece of goodwill for past customers that continuously spend money with them.
Yeah. Well, one thing I've noticed when we post those YouTube videos is past customers love to comment on them and almost compare their pond to the pond in the video. I've seen a couple that are like, my pond looks like this. And I'm like, and because I'd put the caption as, oh, do you want your pond to look like this? And they'll go, yeah. And then they go, wow, that's a beautiful pond. I loved when they made my pond. So people want to talk about their pond and show it off, even if the video does not even express anything to do with their pond.
Right.
So they love to, it's almost like they want to top the other people's pond. And it's, an upsell opportunity.
Yeah. Everybody wants that. Feel good about themselves, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I would say if you guys are out there and you're running these events, or you're thinking about running these events, just know that you can use social media, you can use your current customers, all that stuff to actually get people there. You don't just have to cold call, but you should be doing these events for the exact same reason that people are going to be, wanting to go test drive cars, or wanting to go play with the new iPhone, or get their hands on something. And if you do really well at home shows, figure out a way to have your own quote unquote home show, so people are showing up just to see you. I mean, you're not going to have the volume that a home show has most likely, but what's worth it more? 1,000 people to show up to see 200 vendors, or 100 people show up to see just you?
Yeah. Well, if you're the only one there, you got a good shot at selling to every single person.
Exactly. So I've seen it. There's a dude up in I think it's Napersville, Illinois. He does seminars. Hey, if you're gonna hire a remodeler, come on out. We'll do it at a nice hotel. We'll give you lunch. But again, he's just building the relationship, because it takes a relationship to hire somebody for a very expensive project.
Yeah.
That's going to be happening in your home over months, a month period.
Yeah. I know one of the YouTube channels we subscribe to, Roofing Insights, they're having an event in Minnesota where they're if for DIYers, if you want to learn how to build your roof, or you want to know this product works come to Minneapolis and we'll teach you. And I was like, that's pretty smart.
Yeah, I know Tom Smith has if people come in, he has build a pond days where he teaches you how to actually build your own pond. And he said one lady bought a kit from him one time, and then 3 years later called him up and said, hey, look, I've had this kit for 3 years, can you just come install it? It's not always going to be an immediate thing, and you may not always sell directly from that place, but just know that these people if they had a good experience with you, when it comes time to them actually doing this, and they're the serious people, because if they're showing up to an event that's all about how to hire a remodeler, or what the remodeling process is going to look like, or how to budget, or how to do this or that, they're probably pretty serious, because I'm personally not going to be waking up on a Saturday morning to go do this unless I'm like getting ready to pull the trigger.
Especially if you're targeting them after they bought that kit,
Yep.
and you're like, oh, Pond, this is what we built, and you're still waking up and you look at that thing in your garage and
Yep.
you're like, oh man, love to build that. It's, it might take 3 years, but they've seen every single video for 3 years. I guarantee.
And they're ready.
And they're ready.
You know, like that's like the most like qualified customer you're ever going to get.
Yeah. So it's a perfect plan.
So with this, the follow-up's big. I mean, if you have a list, and then like when people show up, they're taking down name, phone number, email, things like that. So if you have a list of these people, I would then call them back up. Hey, I appreciate you coming out. I just want to know if you have any questions I could help answer, since, we may not have had like all the time in the world to speak on Sunday. And some people are going to say, nope, I'm good, thank you very much. And some people are going to go, actually. So that's really where the money is if you can follow up with all those people. It's one of those like with Premier, like it wasn't an argument, but I was like, all right, guys, like this is your opportunity. But I'm just, this is the hard $2, or you got the easy $2 or easy $1 where you do nothing. So either you call these people up and you make a bunch of money, or you do nothing and you just hopefully let marketing take its course. But if you are aggressive and you're hungry and you want these sales to close, I bet just by following up, you can get, a few of these projects that are like on the edge, and all they need is one phone call from the company to go, hey, how'd it go on Sunday? You'd be like, you know what, actually, I'm ready.
Yeah, exactly. Think of the client that just went to this event, had a great time, maybe interacted with you, and then they're like, well, now what do I do? And unless you address it at the spot or 100%. You follow up,
yep.
They'll probably never hear from them again because they have no idea what to do. They might call you back, but some people are just like, well, you invite me to this event, I'm expecting a phone call or an email and something like that.
Like imagine if you go test drive a car and they go, all right, so how'd you like the test drive? Oh, the car was good. All right, cool, man. See you later.
Yeah.
And like that's like
you know how many times that car salesmen call you back after you test drive a car?
Yeah.
15 times that day.
Yeah.
It's a little overkill,
yeah.
but there's a reason for their madness. It's because they want you back, and they're following up because that one time they don't call, like you said, you're not going to buy that car.
Nope.
So they don't want to lose a sale because of that.
Exactly. So you don't have to be like the crazy car salesman that does it 15 times, but you should have some sort of follow-up at least a few times.
Yeah.
Just, hey, just wanted to say thank you. I would almost do like a phone call maybe like 3 days later. If they don't answer, do an email maybe 2 days after that. And if they don't answer that one, do like one final either phone call or email. But at least that way you're still reaching out a couple times just to let them know, again, thank you very much. Can I answer any questions? Because that's really why they're not there, especially like at a seminar.
Yeah.
They're not there to like, oh, I'm just here to learn about like financing. Like, no, they're there to like learn how to actually hire somebody.
Yeah.
So don't miss out on that opportunity.
No, yeah. Well, what's your standpoint with when you follow up via email or something, personalizing that email? I would say that's pretty key.
Yeah, I mean, if you make it, well, now it's even one of those things. If you can do it via respond via video, so that's where we use all the Loom stuff. So if you're if you're comfortable on camera, there's a website called Use Loom, Loom, as in Mike. You can actually record your face and send it out to people, and that's what I do with all the clients. Like if there's a long email that I got to send out, I'm like, I'm just gonna speak into it, and it saves so much time. But it also gets my personality across. They see my face again, things like that. People feel special, but I personalize it. I don't ever send out a mass Loom.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, hey, you came to my party on Saturday.
Hey, just your name here.
Yeah. Like, just call me up, like, whenever you get a chance. But, like, if I was like, hey, Alex, hey, man, I really appreciate you coming out. Liked our conversation. If you have any questions, I tried reaching you on the phone yesterday. Just let me know. And the best part about Loom is you can see when somebody clicks on it and opens it up. So you know if they're watching it or not.
Yeah, but a good way to retarget them, too, if they watched it, didn't respond or anything like that.
Like, all right, well, let me call them back up.
One more time, so.
Yep, exactly. So anything else we're missing?
No. It was a big success. I think it was a success on the marketing side. What do you think?
That stuff works well.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people that are just sitting on the fence for this stuff, and they're just waiting for one, like with the sales follow-up. They're on the fence. They're just waiting for one phone call. These people are on the fence with ponds, remodeling projects, things like that they're just waiting for one specific event where they're like, oh, hey, actually, honey, in the neighborhood, they're having a seminar, or, oh, there's an open house for this. Let's go check it out, right? Like that is the stuff that progresses sales, just because in reality, everything that we're doing in this relationship style of selling, which is the landscaping world, the remodeling world, the fences, decks, things that there's like no immediate need for it. It's all relationships, and you have to understand that these events, like even if these people are still, just like with that Tom event thing, they're a couple years away. That when this lady is ready to go, she's only got one company that she's going to call.
Yeah.
So
it's like we do the same type of, campaigns for home builders and remodelers, and we get, oh, is this house still on the market? Oh, I want to buy this house. It's because you get your work and you get that in front of people, and they go, wow, they do really good work.
Yep.
So the next time we show it, if they're going to ask again if it's for sale, because they trust that company because they did amazing work the first time.
That's exactly what we're doing with Greg. Like, so he just bought a couple of different lots for spec homes and stuff. And the last spec home that we put up is already bought, but we said, hey, do you want a home like this? And a lot of people called in and said, oh, is that home available? We're like, no, actually it's not, but we can build you one like that.
Yeah.
People wanted that exact one. So now that he's building out these other 4, we can go back to that same exact list and go, hey, actually last year you asked about this one, but we got 4, that are midway through the build. Do you want to come check it out?
Yeah.
So
it's amazing. Off just one video ad on Facebook.
Super simple.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, guys, do us a favor. If you're on YouTube, please hit the like button. That really helps out getting our message out there. If you're on the podcast, go ahead and just leave us a review. Let us know how we're doing. I actually called a dude the other day, left his phone number on there. If you're actually looking at the reviews, you'll see. Called him up, had a great conversation.
Awesome.
So you might get a phone call from me if you leave your number down there. But either way, thanks very much for checking this out. And until next time.
See you guys.
Cool. Thanks.